Hey y'all, and welcome to day 8 of our 12 days of Christmas tutorials and giveaways. Don't forget to join Brittany Barnes Boutique Tumblr art group so you can participate in the remaining giveaways that we have going on daily. I'm going to be straight up with y'all. I did not have 12 tutorials back to back ready to roll. I have been pretty much flying by the seat of my pants getting these tutorials ready and up for y'all daily because life is just chaos around this time of year, and getting them all ready before posting is just not practical for me. Well, I had 3 tumblers going. For the next tutorials, I applied way too much tacky glue to one of them, so much it probably would stick to a wall if I threw it, and the paint messed up on the other 2 because we were doing a peekaboo. I had grabbed these candles from Walmart, and I actually was going to paint and bling the lids on them, but I saw this adorable candle topper from Ivy Pink Made on Instagram. I mean, seriously, just look at her profile. Isn't it so much fun? And she does such cute projects. So thanks, Ivy, for the inspiration to do this very last minute easy craft tutorial. So as I said, I got these candles from Walmart in their Christmas section. I'm going to sand down the lid, and all accessories that I have for the top also come from Walmart. The little deer and tree was obviously an ornament. And then I grabbed some things from the little village and Christmas scene accessories. I'm going to sand down my lid just a little bit with 220 or 320 grit sandpaper just to remove some of that shininess from it. So we'll have a really good adhesion with our paint. And then I'm going to use the COLORFIX white to paint the top of this. I did do 2 coats, drying that up in between on a low heat setting with my heat gun. If you're worried about getting anything on your candle, you of course can take the lid off. I'm pretty much just using the candle as a weight because the lid is very light and it was difficult to try to work with it being so light, so it was moving around. So I just popped it right back on the candle. The candle helped level it as well as keep it staying put while I was trying to work on it. So I'm going to take my Artistry 1:1 ratio fast set. Each lid only took about 7.5 milliliters, so I did overdo it on this first one. But when I go to the second and third candle, you'll see that I only mix 15 milliliters, and then I split it half and half between the 2 candles. I mixed that up really well using the stir stick from Artistry Epoxy. I use this to eliminate some micro bubbles sometimes when using, or actually all the time, when using a wooden popsicle stick. It can cause additional bubbles in your epoxy, and using a plastic or a silicone stick like this helps minimize some of those bubbles. It's important that you do try to do that, especially when mixing glitter into your epoxy. When you mix the glitter into your epoxy, it can prevent some of those bubbles from rising to the top and releasing. So anything that you can do as far as heating your epoxy before you mix it and using a stir stick as I did will help minimize the amount of bubbles that you have in before you add in your glitter and add that to your project. I wanted to keep up that pink theme but also look like snow on the top of this one. So I did use Firefly from PDB Creative Studio, and then we added in just a tiny bit of SARAPHINA to give it a pink tint. This ornament came with a cardboard base on it, and in the beginning I took off that cardboard base and removed any of the extra glue that was still on the ornament pieces. You can of course just put the entire ornament on top, but I really wanted that deer to sit down into the glitter and then that globe or the ornament sit on top of that to be able to see the glitter through. And simple as that, once you had the globe on top, this one was done. So I set that to the side and grabbed our other two candles. I'm again going to paint the lid of this one with the white COLORFIX paint, and then the other one we're just going to leave gold on top because we will be using a gold glitter. I'm going to hop right through this part since we have already seen me paint a lid white, so we can jump right into adding our glitter. And before we do so, I almost forgot to sand the lid of this gold one. So just make sure that you rough that up a little bit so you'll have a good connection between either your paint or your epoxy. And then I'm going to take my 15 milliliters of epoxy that I have mixed and split that between 2 cups so that we can add in 2 different colored glitters. For the white, we are using Snowy from COLORFIX, and then for our gold, we are using Gilded from PDB Creative Studio. When you're doing something like this that you want to keep your epoxy centralized in an area or on top of a surface, all you have to do is pull your epoxy to the edge but not over it. And you can do that by pulling little puddles of epoxy, I guess you could say, close to the edge as you can, and then sort of feathering it with your popsicle stick or whatever silicone tool that you're working with. If you go over the edge, of course the epoxy is going to follow. So if you do that by mistake, just grab either a glove and wipe that off with your hand, or you can also use a baby wipe to clean that up over the edge and stop the drip coming over the side. Now, there are multiple ways that you can put these accessories on top of your lids. If you are not comfortable putting them directly into the epoxy, allow the epoxy to dry, and you can either use a UV resin to attach them or a hot glue. You can actually even avoid using epoxy on these completely by using Mod Podge and glittering the tops of your lids, sealing that in with Mod Podge once again, allowing it to dry, and then hot gluing the accessories to the top of your glitter. Epoxy is going to be your most durable option, and that is definitely what I was going for. You can also use UV resin, but if you want to involve your kids or someone that cannot be around epoxy, then most certainly use Mod Podge. Just make sure that you seal your glitter in and you use the hot glue gun and don't give that to your kids. Now that that one was done, I moved on to the last one. We are going to put a tree topper on this one. I found this ornament also at Walmart, and I thought it would be really cute to just trim off the extras that was on there and add this to the top, as well as a little nutcracker mini ornament. This tree was not necessarily level on the bottom. I wish that I would have ran it over some low grit sandpaper before I put it on here, just so I didn't have to mess with it so much to keep it level. But then we had our little nutcracker. This is from the mini tree ornament section. I cut off the little loop that was on his hat, and since I did that, it exposed some of the plastic material underneath. So we're just going to take some of that extra epoxy we had left over from our lids. I'm going to put some epoxy on its hat and on its legs where it should have glitter. And we're just going to match the glitter and add some on ourselves. I apologize, I did not show the label to this glitter in the tutorial, but I believe that this is Beast from PDB Creative Studio. And once again, I wish that I would have run his feet over some sandpaper so I could level his feet out. Where he was put together, there was like a little bevel on the bottom of his foot. So when I attempted to put him on our topper before everything was dry, he just fell right over and moved our tree around. So I did end up moving him off until our epoxy was almost completely set up, and then I popped him back on. But that was it, and these were so cute and easy to make. This tutorial is sped up double time as always, and it's about 12.5 minutes long, so it took me less than 30 minutes to make all 3 of these really cute toppers. I think if you drop these down in a small cellophane bag and then tied a little ribbon around it, it would be a perfect, inexpensive, personalized gift to give to friends, family, coworkers, or even have in your shop for ready to ship items. All the materials I have used in this tutorial will be listed in the description below, with exception of the ornaments and accessories. Those vary from store to store, but definitely check out your local craft stores that has Christmas decor. I got all of mine from Walmart, but you can also find some really cute things at Target, Michael's, and all the bargain stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods. That is all for today. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.